Hey guys, Joseph here with Haunted Hideouts, and welcome back. Tonight we're going to discuss something that's been going on in the ITC field. Now, in case you don't know, what is ITC and is ITC real? So ITC, or Instrumental Transcommunication, as it's known, is basically, in a rough definition, a way of reaching out to spirits, to the spirit realm for communication using an electronic device. So basically a spirit box is what we're going to discuss tonight. And so we're just going to focus solely on that form of ITC. Now there are other forms, but tonight's just going to be spirit boxes. Okay? Now, do I believe the ITC is real? I 100%, without a doubt, I believe it's real, yes. I've done countless sessions all over the place, and when I ask a specific question, a direct question, I get direct replies. I say, what color is my car? They say orange. I say, what's your name? They tell me their names, their age.
Who are we speaking to?
Any final words?
Thank you for speaking. Have a good night.
Night, guys.
So basically, with the spirits answering these questions directly, it has made me a solid believer in ITC. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there who have never seen a spirit box, heard one go. You know, you watch these videos and you're like, oh, this is fake. I mean, I've been called a fake countless times on my sessions. People are like, this is too good to be true. There's no way that the spirit can be saying that to you. Spirits don't have a voice. They don't have a body. So I just want to go ahead and say that, yes, this is definitely real. This is 100% authentic. I don't fake any of my sessions, and I don't believe my friends in the paranormal field fake their sessions either. Now, going back to the paranormal drama that we're here to discuss tonight, Steve Huff of Huff Paranormal, he is a creator of apps. And apps are one of the things that you can use to feed into a spirit box, okay? There's also hacked radios is another method. And I kind of believe that hacked radios are probably the safest bet to feed into a spirit box for communication, because there's no way that somebody can fake that. If you have to rely on an app, you're relying on whatever stations the app is scanning from, and you have to, or the word bank that they have programmed into the app. You also have to worry about the reputation and how authentic that the app maker has produced the app. You know, are they legit? Or did they throw some stuff in there to make the app say some spooky words or make you believe that it is true and authentic and it's working just to make sales? So they both got their ups and their downs. Hacked radios are great because I feel that they can't really be faked. When you plug in a hacked radio into your device and you're scanning all these different stations, you know, you can't control that. It just scans automatically, and depending on the rate of speed, it's going to depend on how long it stops at every station, whether you get one word or multiple words, or it scans so quickly that you don't get any words. And some spirit boxes, like the PSB11, the S-Box, they all have various sweep rates built into those boxes. So they're essentially a hacked radio with the built-in speaker. So you can kind of control the sweep rates with those, and when you're asking questions on those devices, and you get curse words, now you know that that's an authentic response, that is the spirit manipulating the audio, because curse words, especially the F-bomb, cannot be said on public radio. It can't be. So I've gotten it countless times in my sessions, further proving that this is authentic, real evidence. Now, an app is nice too because the apps are static free. When the hacked radios are scanning, you get the static in between the stations, and that makes the box a little bit more noisy and a little bit harder to hear sometimes to make out. But apps are clear. You know, you're sweeping internet radio stations or word banks, there's no white noise to the app. So you get clear responses. But at the cost of how trustworthy is the app maker. So they both have their ups and downs. So what we're going to discuss tonight is the audio source, the app or the spirit box that you're putting into your spirit box, the app or the hacked radio, the input audio source that you're feeding into your box. So basically, Josh of Hope Paranormal and Steve Huff of Huff Paranormal are really good friends. And they have noticed that somebody in the paranormal field, who they didn't publicly name in their video that they released, but it's presumed by Cody to be him that they're discussing, has had a lot of growth in this channel lately. And that growth, it was great. And I guess supposedly Steve congratulated Cody, saying that, you know, good for him that he's had this success and this growth in his channel. But Josh had mentioned that Steve needed to take another listen to the spirit box sessions that was put out there in question. That the session seemed a little too good to be true. So Steve goes back and he listens to these sessions, and he's in full agreement with Josh that it is questionable that these sessions were a little too good, that there's a possibility that the person in question here, Cody of Cody ITC, could be faking evidence for the sole purpose of just gaining following on YouTube and possibly, you know, trying to earn money off this. So Steve goes ahead and he thinks about it for a little while, and he wanted to figure out how could you make a deep fake. And a deep fake is basically something that's fake, but it's so realistic that somebody can believe it to be true. So basically he found an app online where you can speak into your tablet or your phone and then turn that verbiage into a celebrity's voice. Now when he played back the celebrity's voice, it wasn't too convincing. But when he played it back and fed that audio into his portal or his wonder box, it made it more believable. Again, believable enough to fool countless people. So Steve in his video said that somebody, and again Steve did not point fingers, he did not say it was Cody that he's talking about. He just kind of put it out there as a warning for people that, hey, this can be done. This is how you can do it. He basically made a tutorial on how you can deep fake a session. So he wanted to give people a heads up that if you don't know where their audio source is coming from, if you don't know their app or their hacked radio or whatnot, that a person could fake evidence. So Steve puts that video out there, and I guess Cody got very upset by this, because Cody's like, I know you're talking about me. He's like, even though you didn't specifically call me out personally, I know I'm the one in question. So Cody says, go ahead and wait, and you're going to have a video of him proving that Steve was fake as well. So a couple days later, Cody releases a video, and basically the video was going through various videos that Steve had done, and it was a shot back at Steve saying that Steve fakes his evidence, and he goes ahead and he plays some sessions that Steve had. And the one session that comes to mind off the top of my head is Steve had his device sitting in front of him, and he had a phone, and the phone plugged into his device. Now, it plugged into a guitar pedal that Steve had reversed the audio input. So whatever you speak into the phone yourself, the audio will then get reversed. And so what, in theory, what comes out of the box should be reversed audio. And if it's not reversed audio, and it's an actual intelligent response, it must be a spirit, because there's no other way, right? So, in theory, that makes sense. But Steve had his response, and then he tagged the response. And Cody then reversed the reverse audio, therefore making the audio going forward instead of being reversed like Steve had it. And what was coming out of the box in reverse was actually what Steve had put into the box before it got reversed. So Cody's video was saying Steve is a fake because he's obviously faking evidence here. You know, watching that, like I saw that, and I was kind of let down at first about it. You know, because I remember when that video came out back in the day, and I was like, I thought that was really cool, very creative and innovative of Steve to think like that. And to see that the evidence is not real, it's a little bit of a letdown, I'm not going to lie, but would I say Steve faked it? No. I gave it some thought over the past few days before I made this video of both channels. And I'm not trying to call out their channels. I'm not trying to say your channel's a fake and your channel's legit, or yours is real and his is fake. I'm not trying to do that, because I'd like to believe that if you devoted as many years into the field as I have, or Steve, who's devoted way more years than even me, that you're going to do it for the right reason. Right. I mean, yeah, you're making money. I'm sure he's making hand over fist, all kinds of money coming in, because he's got 1.66 million followers as of the last I've seen. So, but in this field, in the paranormal field, reputation is everything. So if you're going to fake a video and chance getting caught, you're essentially going to lose everything, right? I mean, your fan base could leave you, and no one's going to believe another word you say if you get proven to have been guilty of fakery. Now, it is, in Steve's defense, it is extremely easy to mistag something. You know, I'll be doing a session, I think I hear something live that I don't hear, and when I go back and I play back the audio evidence, I hear something completely different than what I heard live. And that's kind of how it goes with doing these sessions, is like maybe you hear 10% of what's said and the other 90% is wrong, or you just can't make it out, period, until playback. So it's easy to mistag something hearing it live, undoubtedly. I mean, it's just the easiest way to mistag something. Now, to mistag it when you are going back and post and you're editing your video, that can happen too. You know, there's times where I thought I heard something in my video and I'll edit it thinking I heard this, and then I go to bed and I don't finish the video. The next day, with a fresh pair of ears, I go back to editing and I hear something completely different. Or maybe somebody in my paranormal team hears something completely different. So it's easy to mistag something in person, live, or in post. Nobody's perfect, you know. We're not robots. We make mistakes. There's always going to be human error, and you have to account for that. You have to believe that somebody can still be true to themselves and to you, that they're being authentic, and just because they mistag something or screwed up in some way or another, that it doesn't necessarily mean they're faking it. or at least not on purpose, you know? So, do I believe Steve faked his videos after a lot of thought the past couple days? I would say no. I think he has too much invested. I do think that he's a good guy. And I know I've been following his channel since he had about 80,000 followers. And like I said, now he's at 1.66 million. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I don't personally chit-chat with him back and forth or anything, though, but I do see him on Facebook. And I know if he did fake it, if I did believe he faked it, I would call him out on it. But I don't think he did. But the more I think about it, the more it starts bringing another question to my mind. And that's Cody's video. I do want to say that, Cody, your videos are awesome. Steve, your videos are awesome as well. You both make amazing videos. You can tell that you put a lot of time and effort into the editing of your videos, and it shows. And that's one of the reasons why you guys get the quick following and the subscribers you do, is because it's quality work. But in Cody's video, he went ahead and he mentions that he looked up to Steve, that Steve was an idol of his. And I can see why that would be. You know, Steve's a great salesman. You know, Steve could sell a single person a 4-slice toaster when they only need a single slice toaster, or maybe a 2-slice, you know. They could sell him that family toaster because he's a good salesman. It's not needed, but you know what? He talked me into it. And I think Cody sees that he's a good salesman, and because of that, Steve gets a following. And along with the following, the subscribers, you get paycheck, you get money from YouTube. So I can see why Cody would look up to Steve and kind of idolize Steve, because here you are in the field. You know, you don't work a regular 9-to-5 job where you got to punch in and punch out somewhere. You get to make videos for YouTube and you get to make bank with it. I mean, that's amazing. Like, who wouldn't want that? I would love to have that. But so Cody, his videos kind of have the same feel, the same vibe that Steve's videos have. And I would say that's because, like Cody mentions, that he kind of idolizes Steve. I think he wants to be like Steve. He makes his videos like Steve. And just if you just look at their two YouTube pages in comparison, they're just so similar. And again, you know, because he looks up to Steve. But what gets me, though, is the fact that as soon as Steve suspected that there's fakery, that there's, you know, fraudulent spirit box sessions going on with Cody's channel, that Steve kind of called him out without specifically saying his name on it, and showed people how it could be being created. So the fact that you would call somebody out on possible faking of evidence kind of tells me that if you were faking it, you wouldn't say anything. You would keep your mouth shut. So the fact that he called somebody out on faking evidence makes me think that Steve is being legit in his work in the ITC field. Now, what gets me, and I don't mean this as an attack on Cody, but it is a thought that has gone through my head in response to that, is if you idolize Steve, if you looked up to him and what he did in the field, I mean, here you are, you're using basically the same device that Steve created. Your videos are edited in the same method that Steve does his in. They have the same look and feel to them. And then when Steve said that, you know, it could be a fake, all of a sudden you shot back with, you're faking evidence, and here's my proof. So I find it too hard to believe that you just magically found proof right after Steve called you out. I don't feel that could be. I feel like if you knew it was fake, you knew for a while and you didn't say anything. and you waited until you got called out before you said something. So it's kind of like you're saying he's guilty, but you're kind of guilty too. So if you knew, why didn't you call him out? And I don't know, it just seems shady to me. You know, it don't seem right. It seems a little too convenient that that Cody had the evidence to fire right back immediately with. And granted, it was great evidence. You know, it was definitely it definitely got the point across that at a minimum that Steve did make errors in the field, which I explained earlier. It's very easy to make errors when editing a video, you know, but it doesn't necessarily prove that Steve faked anything. When I look at the videos that Cody does, and he's sitting there and everything screams Steve's videos, the device, like I said, everything about it. And in the last video that Cody had, he's sitting there in the room, and you can't see his head, the head's kind of cut off, but you see the spirit box, and you see a white snake hanging around his neck. And it's like, well, Steve has a white snake. I'm going to go ahead and include some pictures right here so you can see Steve with his snake wrapped around his neck. Now, it just seems like you want to be like him a little too much. It seems like too much of a grab, and then your feelings kind of got hurt, and you're kind of lashing out at him. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say anybody's faking anything, because, again, I don't know if anybody is or not. I can only believe that they're not. And this video I'm making here is not to point fingers at anybody, but it is to kind of raise question a little bit about Cody's response to Steve. Again, phenomenal video. It got the point across. It was beautifully done. You can tell a lot of thought and time was spent making this video. But at the end of the day, I can't help but wonder, why didn't you come forward sooner? It's just a little too convenient, the timing of it all. So, but I am definitely curious to what all of you guys have to think and say about this topic. You know, do you believe that they're faking evidence? Do you believe that they're being legit? Do you think it was just an error on Steve's behalf? Is Cody using an app and faking celebrity voices? Or is Cody just getting really good spirit communication? You know, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Please go ahead and comment down below. But I do ask that you please be respectful towards Cody and to Steve. Please no name calling, bashing, or anything. We're all adults here, so please let's just keep it civil and have an adult conversation about it all. Alright? Thank you guys, thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I do definitely appreciate it. It definitely helps me to make further videos like this going forward. So thank you all, have a good night, and tomorrow morning I leave for a overnight jail investigation. So wish me luck, alright? See you guys next time, bye.